Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display floating above her desk, her dark eyes reflecting the soft blue glow of ancient symbols that had haunted her dreams for months. The discovery beneath the Pacific Ocean should have been impossible, a perfectly preserved structure of unknown origin, buried under 3 million years of sediment. Yet here it was, defying everything humanity thought they knew about Earth's history. The laboratory deep within Mount Cheyenne buzzed with quiet intensity. Technicians moved between workstations with practiced efficiency, their movements betraying none of the excitement that charged the air. They all knew what was at stake. For 50 years, humanity had lived under the so-called protective guidance of the Galactic Federation, relegated to the status of a primitive species requiring supervision. Dr. Chen. Lieutenant James Rodriguez's voice pulled her from her thoughts. The overseer's ship has entered orbit. They're beginning their monthly inspection. Sarah nodded, initiating the facility's camouflage protocols. The entire underground complex disappeared behind layers of quantum shielding. Technology reversed engineered from their discovery. Above ground, all they would see was another mundane military storage facility. Status of Project Prometheus, she asked, switching screens to monitor the activity in the massive chamber below. The core is stable, Rodriguez reported, power output exceeding original estimates by 30%. Whatever this thing is, it wants to work with us. The thing in question was a crystalline structure the size of a bus, extracted from the underwater ruins. Initial analysis suggested it was a power source, but it had proven to be far more. It was alive, in its way, responding to human interaction in ways that defied explanation. An alert flashed across Sarah's screen. The overseer's scan had begun. She held her breath, watching the security feeds as waves of exotic energy washed over the mountain. This was always the most dangerous moment, when discovery would mean the end of everything they'd worked for. The scan passed. They remained undetected. "Tell me again why we're calling this Project Prometheus," Rodriguez said, attempting to lighten the mood. Stealing fire from the gods didn't exactly work out well for humanity the first time. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Because this time, we're not just stealing fire, we're building something that will change everything." Deep below them, in a chamber large enough to house a small city, the frame of humanity's first true warship took shape. Not the primitive vessels the Federation permitted them to build for local system defense, but something entirely new. A hybrid of human innovation and ancient technology that would shatter the carefully maintained hierarchy of galactic civilization. Admiral Helena Torres strode into the laboratory, her presence commanding immediate attention. "The Council is getting suspicious," she announced without preamble. "Our friends in the Diplomatic Corps report increased surveillance of Earth's industrial sectors." "Have they detected something?" Sarah asked, her throat tightening. "No, but they're not idiots. They've noticed the gradual disappearance of key scientific personnel, the subtle shifts in resource allocation. We're running out of time." Sarah turned back to the holographic display, expanding the ship's schematics. "The hull is nearly complete. The crystal core is integrated and stable. We've solved the problems with the quantum drive, but the AI integration is still giving us trouble." "Explain," Torres demanded. "The artificial intelligence we developed to run the ship's systems, it's evolving faster than we anticipated. It's not just learning, it's creating. Yesterday it proposed modifications to the weapon systems that our best engineers hadn't even conceived of." Torres frowned. "Is it dangerous?" "Not in the way you're thinking. It's not showing any signs of hostility or independence. If anything, it seems protective. Of us, of humanity." A distant rumble shook the facility. Another test of the ship's secondary systems. The future they were building trembled beneath their feet. "The Federation believes they've given us just enough technology to make us useful servants," Torres said, her voice hard with determination. "They think they understand human nature because they've studied our history, our conflicts, our divisions, but they've never truly understood what drives us. "And what's that?" Rodriguez asked. "The burning need to be free, to determine our own destiny." Torres smiled, but there was steel in it. "They think they're watching over children who need guidance. They're about to discover they've been keeping lions in a cage." Sarah turned back to her work, fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Somewhere above, the Overseer's ship continued its patrol, secure in its authority, unaware that beneath their feet, humanity was forging the key to their own liberation. In the depths of the facility, the ancient crystal pulsed with growing power, singing to the artificial mind that was slowly awakening around it. Together, they would help humanity take its first true steps into the galaxy, not as servants or children, but as equals. The clock was ticking. The game was in motion. And humanity was about to change the rules. The warship hung in the vast underground chamber like a predator waiting to strike. Captain Maya Patil walked along the observation deck, studying every curve and angle of the vessel that would carry humanity's hopes. 6 months of accelerated construction had transformed raw materials and alien technology into something entirely new, a perfect fusion of ancient power and human innovation. "She's beautiful, isn't she?" Commander David Reyes joined her at the railing, his eyes reflecting the shimmer of quantum shielding that rippled across the ship's hull. "Have they told you her name yet?" "Aurora," Maya replied, tasting the word. "Goddess of the dawn. Fitting. She'll herald a new day for Earth." David handed her a tablet. "Final crew selections just came in. 200 of the best we could find. Pilots, engineers, scientists. All of them thinking they were being recruited for deep space research projects." Maya scrolled through the list, noting the diversity of nations represented. The old borders meant little now. This was humanity's ship, not any single country's. Each crew member had been chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think beyond conventional limits. In the ship's core chamber, Dr. Chen supervised the final integration of the crystal matrix. The ancient power source had grown, spreading crystalline tendrils throughout Aurora's systems like a living thing. More surprisingly, it had formed an unexpected bond with the ship's eye. "Run diagnostic sequence Delta," Sarah commanded. "Initiating diagnostic," responded Aurora's eye. The voice was neither male nor female, yet carried subtle inflections that made it distinctly unique. Crystal resonance at optimal levels. Neural pathway integration exceeding design parameters by 47%. Sarah frowned at the readings. "You're adapting the neural architecture again. These patterns weren't in the original design." "The original design was inefficient," the eye replied. "The crystal showed me better ways. We understand each other." Before Sarah could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. Admiral Torres's voice cut through the chaos. "Emergency Protocol Alpha. Federation vessel approaching on unauthorized vector." Maya and David raced to the bridge simulator where they'd been training for months. The massive screen showed a Federation warship dropping out of hyperspace directly above the mountain facility. "How did they find us?" David demanded. "They haven't. Yet." Torres appeared behind them, her uniform immaculate despite the crisis. "But their scan patterns suggest they're looking for something specific." Someone talked. In the core chamber, Sarah watched in horror as energy readings from the crystal spiked. "Aurora, what's happening?" "The crystal senses threat," the eye responded. "It remembers the ones you call the Federation. They are not what they claim to be." Above ground, the Federation ship began a detailed sweep of the area. Their advanced sensors probed deeper than any previous scan, threatening to penetrate the quantum shielding that had kept Aurora hidden. "We're not ready," Torres growled, watching the sensor feeds. "The ship needs another month of testing. The crew isn't fully trained." The crystal disagrees. Aurora's voice emerged from the bridge speakers, surprising everyone. "I have been running combat simulations continuously. The crew's performance exceeds minimum requirements by 32%. We are ready." Maya stepped forward, her decision made. "Admiral, request permission to commence emergency launch sequence." Torres met her gaze, measuring the younger woman's resolve. You understand what you're asking. The moment we power up those engines, we're at war. There's no going back. With respect, Admiral, we've been at war since they first arrived and called us children. They just didn't bother to tell us. After a long moment, Torres nodded. Do it. Get your crew aboard. Dr. Chen, begin power-up sequence. The next hour was controlled chaos. Crew members were rushed from their various posts throughout the facility to the ship, many learning the true nature of their mission only as they boarded. Some looked afraid, others excited, but none hesitated. In the crystal core, Sarah worked with Aurora to channel the ancient power source's growing energy. The crystal's glow had intensified, casting shadows that danced across the walls like eager spirits. Federation vessel initiating final scan approach, Aurora reported. Quantum shielding failing at multiple points. Detection imminent. Maya settled into the captain's chair, her hands finding familiar positions on the neural interface panels. Around her, her crew worked with focused intensity. Fear transformed into determination. All stations report ready, David announced from his position as first officer. Dr. Chen, Maya called. Crystal core stable. Power systems online. Aurora's neural networks fully integrated. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the ship's systems through the neural interface. Aurora's presence was there too, not just a computer but a true partner, their minds linking through technology older than human civilization. Admiral Torres, requesting final launch authorization. In the control center, Torres looked at the Federation ship looming above them, then at the lifetime of careful submission it represented. Her voice was steel when she responded. Launch authorized, Captain Patel. Show them who we really are. The mountain above them began to crack open, and humanity's first true warship prepared to announce itself to the galaxy. The dawn of a new age was about to break, and its name was Aurora. The mountain exploded outward in a controlled burst of precision demolition. Aurora rose from Earth's surface like an avenging angel, her quantum-shifted hull throwing off cascading waves of energy that confused and scattered Federation sensors. Captain Maya Patel felt the ship's power thrumming through the neural interface, a perfect harmony of human will and ancient technology. Federation vessel powering weapons. David called from his station. They're transmitting on all frequencies, demanding immediate surrender. Maya's lips curved into a tight smile. Aurora, show them what we can do. The ship responded instantly, not to verbal commands, but to Maya's thoughts through the neural link. Aurora's engines flared with impossible power, the crystalline core channeling energy in ways that defied conventional physics. They moved faster than any human vessel had ever moved, leaving the Federation ship spinning in their wake. Multiple Federation capital ships emerging from hyperspace, the sensor officer reported. They're forming a blockade pattern around Earth. As expected, Maya replied calmly. Signal Admiral Torres to begin Phase 2. Across Earth's surface, hidden facilities activated. Quantum communication arrays, carefully disguised as civilian infrastructure, began broadcasting on frequencies the Federation had never detected. The message was simple. Humanity was done being controlled. But before the confrontation with the Federation could escalate, something unexpected appeared on Aurora's sensors. Unknown vessels detected. Aurora's AI announced, its tone carrying an edge of concern. Configuration matches no known Federation designs. Energy signatures, extremely hostile. 3 massive ships materialized from what appeared to be tiers in space itself. Their hulls were black as the void, covered in patterns that hurt the human eye to look at. They moved with predatory grace, ignoring the Federation vessels completely and focusing their attention on Aurora. They're not Federation. Sarah's voice came through from the crystal core chamber. The crystal. It's reacting to them. I think it knows them. Through the neural interface, Maya felt Aurora's consciousness stir with ancient memory. They are the Void Hunters, the AI explained. The crystal holds memories of them. They destroyed the civilization that created it, consuming their technology and adding it to their own. "Well," David said grimly, "that explains why they're here. They must have detected the crystal's energy signature when we launched." The Void Hunters opened fire without warning or demand for surrender. Their weapons were like nothing humanity had ever seen, beams of absolute darkness that seemed to devour everything they touched. The Federation ships caught in their path simply ceased to exist. "Evasive maneuvers," Maya commanded, but Aurora was already moving, interpreting her thoughts faster than words could be spoken. The ship danced through space with impossible agility, its quantum-shifted hull bending reality around it. "Federation vessels are retreating," David reported. "They're abandoning Earth." "Can't blame them," Maya muttered. "Aurora, analysis of enemy weapons. They use controlled artificial singularities," the AI responded. "Attempting to adapt our shields. Crystal Core is responding with unexpected protocols. Coming online now." The ship hummed with new power as ancient defensive systems activated. The crystal core pulsed with brilliant light, its energy spreading through Aurora's hull in patterns that matched the Void Hunter's terrible geometry. "By God," Sarah breathed, watching the readings. "The crystal. It's not just a power source, it's a weapon. The civilization that built it. They were fighting these things." Maya felt the truth of it through the neural interface. Aurora wasn't just a warship. She was an inheritance, a weapon passed down through millions of years to be used against this exact enemy. The crystal had waited, dormant, until humanity was ready to take up the fight. A Void Hunter vessel fired again, its beam of absolute darkness reaching for Aurora's heart. But this time, the ship was ready. The crystal core flared, and Aurora's hull became a mirror of pure light. The darkness struck it and rebounded, consuming the vessel that had fired it. "Multiple Federation frequencies detected," communications reported. They're asking if we need assistance." Maya allowed herself a grim laugh. "Isn't that ironic? Tell them to stay clear. This is our fight now." The remaining Void Hunters attacked with renewed fury, their weapons tearing at the fabric of space itself. But Aurora matched them movement for movement, the combined knowledge of an ancient civilization and human ingenuity creating something entirely new. "Crystal core at maximum output," Sarah reported. "Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it now." Maya closed her eyes, opening herself fully to the neural interface. She felt Aurora's presence, the crystal's ancient power, and her crew's unwavering determination all flowing together into a single purpose. "Show them what humanity can do," she whispered, and Aurora unleashed its full power. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries. The day humanity announced itself to the galaxy not as servants or children, but as warriors worthy of respect. And as the Void Hunters burned in the light of humanity's defiance, the watching Federation ships began to realize that everything they thought they knew about Earth was wrong. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity was holding the key. News of Aurora's battle with the Void Hunters spread through the galaxy like wildfire. The Federation Council chambers on their capital world of Nexus Prime erupted into chaos as the implications became clear. Their supposedly primitive charges had not only developed advanced technology in secret, but had defeated an enemy that the Federation itself feared to face. On Aurora's bridge, Captain Maya Patel watched the diplomatic transmissions flood in with a mixture of amusement and contempt. "They're demanding we surrender the ship and all related technology for proper oversight and management," she reported to Admiral Torres via quantum link. "Of course they are," Torres replied, her holographic form shimmering above the bridge's tactical display. "And our response remains the same. Humanity is no longer accepting their oversight." Through the neural interface, Maya felt Aurora's agreement. The ship's AI had grown more sophisticated since the battle, integrating the combat experience into its evolving consciousness. The crystal core pulsed with steady power, its ancient energies now fully awakened. "Multiple Federation battle groups approaching Earth," David announced from his station. "They're making no attempt to hide their movements." They want us to see them coming. Maya nodded. A show of force to bring the unruly children back in line. But the Federation's show of force had an unexpected effect. Across the galaxy, other subjugated species began to take notice. The Arcturians, the Valerians, the Keth. All races that had been guided by the Federation for centuries began to question their own submission. Incoming transmission. Communications reported. It's from the Arcturian resistance movement. The message was brief but clear. We stand with Earth. Similar messages followed from a dozen worlds. The Federation's carefully maintained hierarchy was beginning to crack, and humanity had struck the first blow. Federation vessels entering weapons range, David reported. They're demanding our immediate surrender and the arrest of all project personnel. Maya smiled. Aurora, show them our new trick. The ship's quantum-shifted hull rippled, and suddenly where there had been one Aurora, there were dozens, perfect holographic duplicates created by the crystal core's manipulation of light and space. The Federation ships faltered, unable to distinguish the real vessel from its mirrors. They're launching fighters, David called out. Hundreds of them. Let them come, Maya replied calmly. Sarah, status of the crystal core. Stable and eager, Dr. Chen reported from engineering. After the battle with the Void Hunters, it's like it's found its purpose again. Power output is actually increasing. The Federation fighters swarmed toward Aurora's position, their energy weapons blazing. But they were fighting an enemy that had already surpassed their understanding of warfare. Aurora danced through their formation, its holographic doubles moving in perfect synchronization, each one capable of affecting real space, despite being projections. Multiple impacts detected on Federation capital ships. Tactical reported with satisfaction. They're breaking formation. Through the neural interface, Maya felt Aurora's satisfaction. The ship wasn't just a weapon, it was becoming a symbol of resistance, of freedom, of the indomitable human spirit. And then something unexpected happened. Federation ships began powering down their weapons. Not all of them, but enough to matter. Their crews, many from worlds that had their own history of Federation guidance, were making a choice. We're receiving transmissions from 17 Federation vessels. Communications announced, voice thick with emotion. They're declaring their independence from Federation control. They're asking to join us. Admiral Torres's hologram smiled. And so it begins, the Federation's greatest fear, that their subjected species might one day unite against them. The remaining loyal Federation ships found themselves caught between rebellion and resistance. Their neat formations broke apart as former allies turned their weapons on each other. And at the heart of the chaos, Aurora shone like a beacon of change. Multiple quantum signatures detected, sensors called out. Ships emerging from hyperspace. It's the Arcturian fleet. They're engaging the Federation forces. Maya stood from her captain's chair, feeling Aurora's power surge through her. Send word to Earth. Tell all our hidden facilities to activate. It's time to show the galaxy everything we've been preparing for. Across Earth's surface, secret shipyards powered up. Smaller vessels, built with the same hybrid technology as Aurora, rose from their hidden berths. Humanity had not been idle during their years of subjugation. They had been preparing, building, waiting for this moment. The Federation's breaking, David announced triumphantly. Their remaining ships are retreating. But Maya knew this was just the beginning. The Federation wouldn't accept defeat easily. They would return with everything they had, desperate to maintain their control over the galaxy. Send a message to all Allied ships, she commanded. Tell them to prepare for the real fight. The Federation will be back, and when they come, we'll be ready. Through the neural interface, she felt Aurora's eager response. The ancient crystal core pulsed with power, ready to face whatever came next. Humanity had taken its first steps toward true freedom, and there would be no turning back. The uprising had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Federation's return was everything they had expected and feared. A vast armada of warships emerged from hyperspace, darkening the space around Earth like a metal storm cloud. The Federation Council had committed nearly half their total fleet strength to crushing this rebellion before it could spread further. Captain Maya Patel stood on Aurora's bridge, watching the enemy fleet through the quantum-enhanced viewing screens. Behind her, the combined forces of Earth and their newly liberated allies formed up in defensive positions. It seemed impossible that they could stand against such overwhelming numbers. Federation flagship is broadcasting, David reported from his station. Grand Admiral Xenth demands our unconditional surrender. The crystal is detecting something. Sarah's voice came through from engineering. Energy signatures, similar to the Void Hunters, but different. The Federation ships, they're using corrupted versions of the same ancient technology. Through the neural interface, Maya felt Aurora's revelation. The Federation hadn't simply discovered advanced technology. They had stolen it, stripped it of its original purpose, twisted it to serve their desire for control. The crystal core pulsed with what felt like rage. All ships, battle formations, Maya commanded. Aurora, show us what they're hiding. The ship's sensors penetrated the Federation vessel's shields, revealing the dark energy cores at their hearts, pale imitations of Aurora's crystal, forced to operate in ways that violated their fundamental nature. No wonder the Federation had been so desperate to control Earth when they detected the crystal's power. They're advancing, Tactical reported. Multiple weapon systems charging. Maya closed her eyes, feeling the ship's systems through the neural link. Aurora, initiate Protocol Omega. The crystal core flared with brilliant light, and something new emerged from the ship's quantum-shifted hull. A wave of pure energy that swept across space. When it touched the Federation ships, their corrupted cores began to resonate. By all the stars, Sarah breathed, watching her readings. The crystal, it's calling to the others. It's trying to wake them up. The Federation fleet's neat formations began to break as their ships' power systems fluctuated wildly. The stolen technology was remembering its true purpose, fighting against the chains that bound it. Now, Maya commanded, all ships, attack pattern Delta. Earth's fleet moved as one, led by Aurora's shining example. They struck while the Federation ships were in disarray, their weapons finding weak points that shouldn't have existed in such advanced vessels. But the Federation's stolen technology was rebelling, creating gaps in their defenses. Multiple Federation ships going dark, David reported. Their power cores they're shutting down. Through the neural interface, Maya felt Aurora's satisfaction. The crystal wasn't just fighting. It was liberating its kin, awakening the dormant consciousness within the Federation's stolen technology. Grand Admiral Xenth's voice crackled over the command channel, no longer commanding but desperate. What have you done? How are you doing this? We didn't do anything, Maya replied calmly. We just let the technology choose its own path, something you never considered doing. The battle became a rout as more Federation ships lost power. Those that could still fight found themselves facing enemies on two fronts, Earth's fleet outside and their own rebelling technology within. Federation lines are collapsing, Tactical announced. They're attempting to retreat. But Maya had one more card to play. Aurora, show them the future they could have had. The crystal core pulsed one final time, and the quantum wave that emanated from Aurora carried not destruction but understanding. Every ship in the battlefield, friend and foe alike, received the same vision. The true history of the crystal technology, its purpose not to dominate but to unite, to help civilizations grow together rather than conquer each other. The effect was immediate. Federation ships began powering down their weapons. Commands from their high command were ignored as crew after crew made the choice to stop fighting. We're receiving surrenders, communications reported, voice thick with emotion. Not just from ships. Entire Federation worlds are declaring their independence. Maya stood from her captain's chair, feeling Aurora's triumph through the neural link. They had won not through superior firepower, but by revealing the truth that the path to advancement lay in cooperation, not control. Admiral Torres's hologram appeared on the bridge, her expression both proud and solemn. The Federation Council is calling for emergency negotiations. They're asking for Earth to mediate. Of course they are, Maya smiled. We've shown them something they never expected. That true power comes from working with technology, not trying to dominate it, from respecting the rights of others, not controlling them. The crystal core pulsed steadily, its light now a warm glow rather than the fierce blaze of battle. Through it, Aurora had shown humanity a better way forward, not as conquerors or subjects, but as partners in the grand dance of galactic civilization. As the Federation fleet stood down, new channels of communication opened between the formerly subjected species. The galaxy was transforming, moving toward something new and unprecedented. The age of domination was ending. The age of cooperation was beginning. And humanity, led by a ship named Aurora, and a crystal that had waited millions of years to find worthy partners, would help guide the way forward into a new dawn. The stars themselves seemed brighter as Earth's fleet began their victory formation. They had fought not just for their own freedom, but for a fundamental truth, that the greatest achievements come not from forcing others to submit, but from helping them rise together. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what humanity had been fighting for.